start recording the session, right? And we're going to be working about like problems and suggestions about environmental problems or environmental issues, right? So when I show you, can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. When I show you this picture, what can you identify there? What can you see there in that picture?
Teacher, I can identify uh, many problems with the environment,
Like which one?
as air pollution, uh, the waste in the cities, maybe.
Mhm. The waste, the pollution, the air pollution, also water pollution, right?
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, very good. Anything else, my dear? Do you remember
Mm,
how do you call that? How do you call this?
yes, toxic uh, rain
Acid rain.
is correct. Acid rain.
It's literal the same as acid rain. Yeah, good.
Hmm.
Of course, CO2 emissions, the smoke, the smoke of the cars. In general, the global war, you know what is global warming, of course, right?
Yes,
Mhm. In
calentamiento
general,
global.
exactly, of course, the global warming. So there are a lot of different problems, sorry, in our cities, right? In our environment, pollution, chemicals, contaminants, well, how do you say that? Reactives, a lot of different things, right? But of course, we have some suggestions, some possibilities to not completely safe, but improve a little bit the planet, no? So what ideas as an environmental engineer, one of the best, what ideas do you have for saving the planet?
Teacher, for the air pollutions, maybe we need changing the type of the transport. For example, the uh, electric transportations.
Good. So what we need is to change the fuel, right? Like, or the system energy, right? The energy system from like gasoline to electricity, yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Any other ideas? Any others?
Mm,
Yeah.
maybe change uh, mm, the carbon for the industries. Uh, maybe for others types of energies.
Very good. Yeah, the same, no? So using probably solar panels, aeolic energy, hydraulic energy, well, different kinds of energies, right? Like maybe that they can help us. Okay, very good. So, well, in this case, what we're going to describe today, well, what we're going to talk about today, it's this kind of problems and suggestions, but we're going to do it in a specific way. It turns out that when we talk about these problems, they do not affect only one population, only one person. They affect bigger populations. They affect like all the world in general terms, right? So in this case, we don't have a specific subject. The subject of the action is not really specific, right? Or probably the subject is not so important. So in this case, what we're going to do is to use the passive voice or to use to describe these problems, right? But these problems are happening all the time. So we don't use the present simple in passive voice, but we use the present continuous. The present continuous, it's going to be the verb to be plus the verb in ing. When I say that the smoke is causing air pollution, the factories are also causing air pollution. the factories are producing CO2 emissions, right? So present continuous, right? And also we can use the present perfect in order to describe the actions or the problems that have happened for some time. In that case, it's simply have and the verb in past participle. For example, the people have produced a lot of trash or a lot of waste. What is the meaning of hazardous? Do you remember the meaning of hazardous?
I don't know.
Don't worry. Hazard, it's like a danger.
Ah, ok. Residuos peligrosos.
Exactly, but especially like biological, right? Like those,
Ah, residuos biológicos.
exactly, como peligro, pero con un peligro biológico. Yes.
Ok.
So hazard, it's of course peligro, but hazardous, pues is of course the meaning of dangerous, right? So in that case, it's peligroso, but in a biological way, right?
Ok.
So in that case, of course, we can say that the people have produced a lot of hazardous waste with the technology, with the batteries, different things, but using the present perfect, yes? But it is not clear to say people, because when we say people, we say like, bueno, pero ¿qué gente? Specifically one person? No, it's people in general. That is why we don't want to use the normal sentence, but we want to use the passive voice of these sentences. Ready? How is it used, the passive voice of these two tenses? Bueno, muy fácil. Remember that when we talk about the passive voice, what we do is transforming or including the verb to be into the structure. So, for example, oh my God, sorry. Here, in the present continuous, we have normally the verb to be, is or are, and then the gerund, o sea, the verb in ing. What we are going to do, yes, it's introducing the verb to be with the ing, ready? And then the next verb in past participle, right? And with the passive voice in present perfect, it's the same. Normally we have and has, and then the verb in past participle. Well, what we are going to do in the passive voice is have, has, been, and then the other verb also in past participle, right? So instead of using verb to be plus verb in ing, we're going to have verb to be plus being, que es como han estado, right? O han sido, right? And then the verb in past participle. Ese verbo que está en ing is going to pass to past participle. And the verb to be is going to be equal as a verb to be. And then I include being. Ready? Instead of saying, for example, that smoke is producing air pollution, yeah, I have to make a change. Remember that the most important part is to change the object with the subject, right? So in that case, we pass the object to the beginning and the subject to the end. And then we use the change into this part. So I would say that air pollution, verb to be, is being producing in past participle, produced, and then smoke. But of course, here I have to include a expression of cause and consequence. In that case, we would say by the smoke. Ready? So this is the passive voice of the present continuous. Verb to be is or are, being, and then the verb in past participle. Instead of saying that the smoke is producing air pollution, I would say that the air pollution is being produced by the smoke. Ready? How do you feel? More or less, easy, questions, more or less?
More or less, teacher.
Don't worry, my dear, don't worry. For example,
Teacher, in terms of the meaning, what is the difference?
there is no much difference. The difference is the emphasis that you want to give to the first person. If you want to emphasize the cause, leave it like that, because smoke is going to be first. So I said the smoke is causing air pollution. So the emphasis is on smoke. But if you want to emphasize the consequence, leave it like that because the emphasis is going to be on the consequence, that is the air pollution. Okay, the air pollution is being produced by smoke. Entonces depende del énfasis que le quieras dar. Si quieres enfatizar en la causa o si quieres enfatizar en la consecuencia, ¿vale? Uno
Okay.
es el smog está produciendo polución o el otro, la polución está siendo producida por el smog. Ready?
Yes, teacher.
A little bit better?
Yes.
Good. Very good. For example, I
Teacher,
want to say, yes,
always being.
yes,
Always.
always being.
Okay.
Desde que sea present continuous, sí. Si es present perfect, ya lo vamos a ver, pero si es present continuous, always being.
Okay.
Right? Yes. For example, I want to express that some politicians are affecting the, oh my God, the, no sé, the green areas. En este momento, some politicians are affecting the green areas of the city. ¿Cierto? Entonces, present continuous, right? Como no sé cuáles son los políticos, prefiero darle relevancia a qué es lo que está siendo afectado. Ok, las zonas verdes. Me parece más importante. Entonces, I am going to make the change to the passive voice. ¿Cómo lo harías, André? How would you translate this sentence into the passive voice?
Teacher, maybe the green areas are affected by, I don't know, are being affected by politics.
By some politicians.
Okay, some politicians.
Exactly, politicians. Because difference, politicians son políticos, las personas.
Sí,
Y
pues, sino que
politics. Ah,
no me
bueno.
quería centrar en los políticos,
Good.
quería decir
Bueno,
como
no, perdóname.
políticas, las políticas.
Entonces, claro que sí, by politics in general.
Yes, yes.
También puede ser, claro que sí, of course. Claro que obviamente en la plataforma cuando, digamos, te dicen cambia la oración, pues es como con las mismas partes, pero obvio, podrías colocar by politics and that's it, si no te quieres centrar en los politicians, right?
Okay.
Muy bien, very good, but remember to include the being, ¿no? So, the green areas, perdón, aquí es the green areas are being affected by the politics. Good. So, yeah, very good. Verb to be, being, and then the verb in past participle. Ready? Giving all the emphasis to the consequence
The
that it's
green
like.
areas.
Exactly. ¿Listo? Muy bien,
Okay.
that's it. That's when we use the present continuous because it's an action that is happening right now, right?
Okay.
If we want to use or we want to describe another action that has happened for some time or many different times in the story, in the history, sorry, I am going to use the present perfect. The present perfect, normally it's have or has, plus verb in past participle. That is the normal one, right? In active voice. In passive voice, what I'm going to do is to, okay, have the same. Have or has the same. Plus the verb in past participle, but the verb in past participle is going to be being. Verb to be in present perfect. And then another verb in past participle that is specifically this verb. It's going to continue in passive participle. And I only include the verb to be in past participle, in being in the middle. For example, I can say that well, along the history, politicians, I want to just criticize all the politicians. Politicians have stolen the resources of the people. you know? So the resources of the people is the thing that they have stolen. ¿Quiénes? Politicians, pero realmente no sé cuáles. How can you change this into the passive voice? Well, so we're going to say el sujeto, todo el objeto, perdón, completo. The resources of the people, of the people have been es igual, have been stolen for, también puede ser for politicians or for, yeah, like for some corrupted politicians. Ready? So this is the passive voice in which I give more relevance, more emphasis to the consequence of that, which is, okay, lo que se ha robado, ¿qué se robaron? Los recursos de la gente, right? So the resources of the people have been stolen for politicians. ¿Qué tal? Questions, problems, more or less?
No, teacher. It's clear.
Okay, good, very good. Andre, think in a problem in Medellin or around Medellin that has increased with the time. Maybe the pollution, maybe the floods, las inundaciones.
Teacher,
Yes.
the air pollution, always. Is the most
Why?
important problem in this moment.
Yeah, it's the most important problem in this moment. Why it has increased so much? What is the problem? What is increasing? Because, okay, traffic, yes, okay, but what is the cause of the increase of the problem? Why?
Teacher, the cause is the smoke of the transport and the geographic forms in the veil,
What is the meaning of veil?
como el valle.
In the valley, in the valley.
Okay,
Okay,
vale.
yeah, good. Okay, because like the air cannot go through.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay, very good. So in that case, well, we're saying that air pollution. No, the. Oh my God, you told me. You just told me the geographical features of the valley
Yes.
have increased the problem or the air pollution. The geographical features or the geographical characteristics of the valley have increased the air pollution.
Yes.
But when we say, well, okay, but what geographical features? So it's not so clear. So maybe we can want to give the emphasis to the problem. How would you do that, my dear?
Teacher, in present continue or?
In present perfect, because I said the geographical features have
Okay.
increased the air
In
pollution.
present perfect. Teacher, the air pollution have increased for the geographic forms in the Veil
Valley.
Valley.
So the air pollution has, because this one is
Okay.
is it. So has increased.
Has been. Has been.
Good. Has been increased for the geographical features. Sorry, geographical features. Very good. So, perfect. So in that case, that is how we want to express those problems. Well, not always, but if you want to give more emphasis to the problem than the cause, it's better to use it with this way, using the passive voice. The passive voice is used when the subject of the sentence is not clear, like in this case, politicians, no idea who are they are just some politicians, or when the consequence, the object of the sentence is more important. For example, here, okay, sí, yes, the geographical features, pero ¿cuál es el problema? Pues the problem is the air pollution, so it's more important the problem and not the cause, right? Questions, Andre, more or less, good, all fine?
Yes, teacher, is clear.
Okay, very good. So in this case, we're going to have a couple of like problems. Well, expressions that we can use for introducing the subject or the cause of the problem. I can use by, easy, and for, easy, and due to. What's the meaning of due to?
Debido a.
Debido a, o as a result of. What's the meaning of as a result of?
Como resultado de.
Como resultado de and because of. Careful, no es because solito, sino because of, que es similar to for, o sea, por, o a causa de, you know? It means that after that, we only have the problem for the geographical features, for the politicians, because of the politicians, as a result of the geographical features, right? And the same happens here. The air pollution is being produced as a result of the smoke. The green areas are being affected due to the politics, right? So I can use any of those expressions with the condition that if we use through, what's the meaning of through? Do you know what is the meaning of through?
No recuerdo.
A través de. So when I use through, it's going to be a verb, but in ing. A través de el robo, a través de la producción, a través de ta, ta, ta. For example, I can have a problem that the air pollution is being produced through using fossil fuels, for example. The air pollution is being, yes, produced through driving cars individually, for example. The air pollution is being produced through not using the bicycle, for example. So when I have through, I have the possibility to include an action, which is different from the rest of them. Diferente del resto de las demás que usan solamente sustantivos. Miss Andres, ready?
Yes, teacher.
Good. Muy bien, excellent, very good. Bueno, my dear. Now, for example, over here we have some problems. I would like you to help me to tell, to understand why are these problems being produced or have been produced, no? Famine, for example, famine, what is the meaning of famine? ¿Recuerdas qué significa famine?
No, teacher.
Hambruna, no? So when the people have nothing to eat. The famine has been caused by the resource waste, o sea, por el desperdicio de los recursos, right? So famine has been caused by the resource waste. We have other sentences, you know, we have 3, 4, like 7 sentences more. Choose some of them, los que quieras, some of them, and tell me why is that problem being produced or increased in our society. Ready? Think for a second. You got some minutes, some time. Prepare, think. What might be the causes?
Teacher, for example, global warming has been caused by the fossil fuel.
Very good. The global warming has been caused by the fossil fuel or through using or through extracting fossil fuels, right? Muy bien, very good. Any other?
Teacher, the corruption has been increased by the bad culture
True.
of the
Has been.
society. Has been.
Very good. So, has been increased by or as a result of, cambiemos, digamos, due to, right? Due to the bad culture of society. Muy bien, very good culture of society. Perfect. Yes, we have traffic accidents. Easy overpopulation. Do you know what the meaning of overpopulation?
Sobrepoblación.
Of course. Political unrest, it means like political crisis, como descontento político, you know. Poverty, what is the meaning of poverty?
Pobreza.
Pobreza, global warming, corruption, cancer, yes. Any other that you want to express?
Teacher, traffic accidents has been produced for the ignorance of the drivers,
Okay, very
maybe.
good. The ignorance and the imprudence of the drivers, right? Good. But this is a problem that happens every day. Every day happens. So if it's something that happens every day, what other option do we have?
Present continuous.
Exactly like that.
Then traffic accidents are producing are being produced by ignorance of the drivers.
Muy bien, very good. Ready? By the ignorance and the imprudence of the drivers. Muy bien, that's great. So, excellent. Take into account sometimes it's present perfect, has or have been, and sometimes it's present continuous, is or are being. That's it. Ready? Good, my dear, excellent. But these problems, it's like a chain of problems, like a sequence of problems, because these have problems, but are also the causes of other problems, no? For example, famine has been caused by the resource waste, ¿cierto? But also an increase on the death rate, la tasa de mortalidad, has been caused as a result of the famine. O sea, el problema también es causa de otros problemas, right? So in this case, we're going to do it on the other way, on the opposite way. Could be with the same or could be with other difference if you want. For example, previously I can say that the poverty the poverty has been produced as a result of the, let's say what, on the social class clash, which is like the problems with the social classes. And also, I can say that danger or like insecurity has been increased as a result of the poverty. Yeah, so in that case, I'm thinking what problem has been caused as a result of that problem. Ready? Or is being caused, of course. In this case, in Colombia, of course, which is everyday's bread, we could say that insecurity is being caused, produced, increased, so on, as a result of the poverty. No? So what about you, my dear? Find other, like any other examples here and find what other problems are caused as a result of those problems that we have here.
Teacher, the heat waves is correct, como las olas de calor.
Yeah, the heat waves.
Has been produced as a result of global warming.
Bueno, ahí dice as a result of, ahí chiquitico, as a result of, ready?
Yeah.
Pilas, hot waves son plural. Entonces,
Okay.
hot waves, no, perdón, heat waves
Have.
have been produced as a result of the global warming. Perfect, great. Any other?
Teacher, the rain are being produced the traffic accidents or
Because in that case, the traffic accidents are being produced by the rain, which is
okay.
one cause. But in that case, think on the consequence of the traffic accidents. One consequence of
Okay,
the
okay,
traffic
okay,
accident.
okay. Hmm. Hmm. The teacher, injure people.
Yeah, of course, good. Huh?
Maybe injure
Yeah,
people. are being I don't know,
In that
caused.
case, yeah, I could say that, or maybe pass the verb to the action. No? So for example, people are being injured, would be better due to
Okay.
the traffic accidents, right? Yes, could be. I was thinking, for example, every time that there's a traffic accident, there is a freaking huge traffic jam, no? So traffic jams are being or have been caused always because of the traffic accidents, no? Los trancones, yes, traffic jams have been caused through because of the traffic accidents, no? So that's it. In that case, we can have one problem can be described as a consequence or can be described as a cause, depending also on the relevance or on the problem that you want to emphasize. Ready?
Okay.
And the questions over here, problems, difficulties, anything?
More or less.
More or less. It's just a matter of like organizing your mind, but that's all right. Now you are doing it perfect. Ready? No problem.
Okay.
Bueno, my dear. So when we talk about these problems, we saw, okay, we can describe the problems, good, but also we are supposed to describe some suggestions. When we want to give suggestions in order to solve something, I can do it, but I can do it using different ways, a lot of different ways. But today we're going to focus only in two. We're going to focus on let me just use the next one here. We're going to focus on the expressions with to, right? And we're going to use with the expressions with ing. Yeah. When we have to, the next verb is always in infinitive, ¿cierto? So ya lo sabemos. When we have to, the next verb is always in infinitive. And sometimes we have verbs in gerund. Yes? So, of course, this is going to be the suggestion. For example, you tell me, teacher, suggestions for reducing the global warming. Change the fuels, right? Or maybe finding new energies. My God, sorry. New energies. Yes, the solar energy, right? And maybe suggestions for reducing the corruption, Andre. What do you think? What could be suggestions for reducing the corruption?
Mm, Teacher, maybe adding more requirements for the politicians, but real requirements.
Okay, so adding more requirements
Nor
and
only, nor only ser colombiano.
Yes, of course, adding more requirements and respecting those requirements, not like, is the people, maybe the requirements are there, but, so they don't respect anything of that. Muy bien, very good. That could be one, right? Something different from the environmental issues. Andre, what is one suggestion to improve your English?
For to reduce the environmental problems.
No, no. Independently of the environmental problems, to improve your English, what can you do? What's the suggestion?
Mm, Maybe mm, to change the habits um, of the people.
Hmm? Yeah, if the people don't practice, they are not going to learn English ever. So they need to change their habits. Good. Well, yeah, so in that case, you give me 4 suggestions. Yes, 2, you give it to me in infinitive, other 2 in ing. Ahora, ¿de qué depende que use gerund o que, perdón, infinitive o gerund? ¿De qué depende? Well, it depends on the first expression that I have. The first expression is going to tell me, or it's going to define what I want. What I want. And the second one, it's how to get it. Ready? In the first sentence, what I'm going to describe is what do I want to get or what do I want to success, que es lo que quiero lograr. And here it's how to get it, to change the fuels, to change that, ready? But here you tell me, okay, ¿para qué? Ah, okay, so because I want to learn English, I want to reduce the air pollution, I need to reduce the global warming, I need to reduce the corruption, right? So this in that first sentence is where I'm going to express that. Ready? When we want to use infinitive, most of the actions, most of the expressions include what? Sorry, I forgot it. Include the verb to be. Ready? So, for example, when we say the best option to, for example, ¿cuál es change the field? To reduce the global warming is, and then includes the action. Ready? The best option to reduce the global warming, the best option to learn English, the best option to reduce the corruption, you know? So in that case, we can use it when we use the verb to be, we can use the expressions with infinitive. Sometimes the people also use the gerunds, but it's more common to use it with the verb to be, right? The best option to, it's also, we can have other expressions with verb to be. Well, for example, when I say it's and then an adjective and then the expression. For example, it's a good idea to, yes, it's important to change the fuels, right? But usually we have this expression, which is the best option, or one way to reduce the corruption is to, right? The first two, it's introducing what I want to reduce the corruption, to speak faster, to improve my vocabulary. And then the verb to be is going to introduce the second thing. Ready? Usually with the verb to be. It is important to, it is a good idea to. Ready? And when we have expressions or suggestions, sorry, recommendations with ing, is because we have prepositions, right? Prepositions like, for example, by, or prepositions like, for example, about, for giving suggestion. Ready? When we have the expression by, I can say sentences like, for example, you can, you can reduce the corruption by adding more requirements. You can reduce the air pollution by finding new energies. You can reduce the global warming by disconnecting the chargers, for example, you know? So by includes the next suggestion with the ing. And with about, we have expressions like, for example, what about? What about and the action. What is the meaning of what about? Bueno, ¿y qué tal si? O ¿qué tal si, right? Something, you know? So, what about finding new energies? Good. Como una pregunta, sugerencia, es decir, como, bueno, ¿y qué tal si encontramos nuevas energías? What about adding more requirements to the politicians, no? So, it's like a question which is also a suggestion. Or the other question which is, have you thought about, como alguna vez has pensado, and then the action. Have you thought about learning English online? Have you thought about traveling to USA for learning English? Hmm? Have you thought about blah, 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 and then the ing? Yes? So giving suggestions is going to be possible in many different ways, but these ones are going to be the ones that we have to learn today. Gerunds and infinitives, depending on the expression that we have at the beginning. Okay, Andre, how do you feel? Good, questions, problems?
No, teacher.
All fine. So, for example, famine. Famine, it's hambruna, no? So, of course, what I want to do is to reduce the famine. What can I do in order to reduce the famine? What can I do?
Teacher, one option to reduce the famine
Famine? Mhm.
is maybe give more opportunities uh, for families.
Good, very good. But don't forget, one option to reduce the famine
Is okay. Is to give.
is to give more
To give.
opportunities to the family.
Okay.
Very good, right? What about if I want to, what? If I want to improve a city's look, como el aspecto de la ciudad. Improve city's look. What can I do if I want to improve the city's look?
Teacher, maybe for improve cities look is to make more gardens in the, how do you say, terrazas?
Decks. Oh, in the roofs or in the decks? Roof
Okay.
o decks. You know, decks son como balcones y roof como los techos, pues, you know. Entonces, muy bien. Entonces, one option to improve the city's look is to make more gardens in the roofs, right? Also, you could say, bueno, what about for improving for improving the city's look, what about making more gardens in the decks or making more gardens in the roofs, right? So you can use any of the expressions there, but be careful. The expression that you use at the beginning is going to determine the expression that you use afterwards to give the switches. ¿Vale?
Yes,
Questions, Andre, difficulties, problems, anything? All fine, all good?
Profe, es como difícil diferenciar cuándo utilizar tú y cuándo utilizar con ing.
ING. Ok, yes. Regla, si hay preposiciones como for, by, about, yo sé que va con ing.
Ok.
Especialmente si tienes expresiones con verb to be, the best option is o it is important, es que tienen verb to be, usualmente van con to. Ready? So those are like the two rules. Listo, dear.
Okay.
Any other question? Anything else?
No, teacher. It's
Okay.
good.
Listo, my dear. Can I erase this part?
Excuse me, teacher.
Can I erase? Can I change the image?
Teacher, excuse me.
Don't worry. Can I change to another image? Can I erase the screen?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, got it. Thanks a lot. Well, so over here we have, well, I have some issues. They are not environmental problems, but anyway, I have some issues. I need to improve my finances. My money, it's kind of bad. I need to be successful at love because I am not successful at love. I need to be more sociable because I am kind of like isolated, you know, like an introverted. I need to improve my temper because I am kind of temperamental. I need to be more efficient at work because I'm like a procrastinator. And I need to be more punctual because I am very unpunctual. But of course, all of these are examples, no? But you have 6 problems, right? You have 6
Yes.
problems. So find suggestions for some of them. Not all of them. 6 problems are too much. But find suggestions for 2 or 3 problems of those, right? So one option to improve your finances, or you can be more punctual by blah, 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 or for being more sociable, have you thought about blah, 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 you know? So
Teacher, maybe One option to improve your finance is taking control of the expense and incomes. For example,
Of course. Muy bien. Pronunciation of this word, my dear.
finances.
Finances. Good. Bueno, en este caso, finances, because it's plural. One, just in general, finance. Good. Muy bien, very good. So one way or one option to improve your finances is taking control of the expenses and incomes. Very good. Excellent. Any other?
For other problem.
Yeah, for a different problem. Or maybe for the same problem if you want.
Teacher, maybe for be successful at love. Is to know better other person.
Okay, very good. Ready? When I say for, it's
Okay,
with ing. You could say, for example, for being successful at love, you can know better another person. Or, mira que for, oh my God, I erased it, perdón. Wait. Deshacer. Aquí, good. Como tal, for, no lo tengo aquí entre las opciones. You know, like, it's all right. You could say, for example, you can be successful at love by knowing a person better. Or it is important or it is necessary to know a new person, another person better. Yeah, so when I say for, it means like, bueno, para esto, for being successful at love, you can do it by blah, 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 ready? But in general terms, the expressions by be with verb to be, or like this one, you can. Eso es muy común, like, puedes hacer esto a través de, you know, so you can be successful at love, or for example, you can be more punctual by waking up early. You can be more sociable by, say, by going out with your friends or something like that, you know? So the idea is that the first part, it's like with one of those expressions, the best option, it's important, you can, what about, or how you feel about it. Okay, Annie?
Okay, teacher.
Good. Listo, my dear. Bueno, Andre, any questions so far over here? Difficulties, anything that it's not clear, that it's strange, that it's confusing?
Teacher is good. I think that is for to practice more.
Okay, is for practicing more. That's it. Yeah, it's a matter of practice more. Okay. Important here that you can make these kind of exercises with your own life. For example, I say you told me the last time that maybe you are too bossy sometimes, or your team says that you are too bossy sometimes. So it's okay, bueno, I can be less bossy by talking to my employees, or you know, I can enjoy more my time by going to the gym, or no sé, do your activity. I mean, think in the possible problems that you can have and try to think. You don't have to write it or anything. It's just thinking, what can you suggest to yourself? Ready? So it's important to put in context all of these exercises so you can practice it in a meaningful way, de una manera más significativa. Okay, my dear Andre?
Yes, teacher.
Listo, my dear. Bueno, so if you don't have any other questions or anything for today, that would be all. Thank you for being here, Andre, with me. That's it. See you the next class. The next class is going to be the next week. And we have two classes, 5.1 and 5.2. So see you there, okay?
Yes, teacher. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Have a wonderful week and weekend and everything, okay?
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
teacher.
Bye, honey. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.